Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Art family.
Hello there. Welcome back, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
So we see protests over in Austria. Austria, no L there, no Australia, but yes, Australia. Actually, there's a ton of protests there too.
So it could go either way, but this time we're talking about Austria.
Actually, there's protests just about everywhere. All over the globe.
Yeah.
All over the globe right now. You know, it's just a time in which people are asserting themselves in bigger and bigger numbers.
As they should. I mean, this is the time where what you think, what you feel is very important, and it should be honored. You know, our feelings and our emotions, they put us into alignment. They're not something that should be shoved aside or dismissed.
Absolutely. You know, and this is Australia above it. You know, and okay, well, these guys don't have, well, maybe they got a, I don't know.
They're okay. Just
yeah, let's go back up. Okay. Okay. Freedom of expression.
Yay.
Hey, you know, we're all unique beings. We're all source basically expressing itself in every way possible.
Absolutely. You know, and that's what source wants us to do. I do feel that there's certain ways to do it better than others, though. It's my personal opinion, but I think Mother Nature has her opinions too.
Yes, most definitely. And then, you know, there are a lot of very, very peaceful protests going on. There are some that are more contentious as well. And here we see there's protests going on outside the mayor's residence in New York City. And a lot of tension there, which, you know, there's, as we've been saying, extreme differences. You know, you could have debates scheduled for the next 100 years, and unless there's a change in evolution with the awakening, the consciousness awakening of the masses, you're not going to get anywhere. Now, yes, consciousness awakening can change so that these debates can become constructive. Unfortunately, so often what we see is people dividing themselves and even calling themselves certain names. You know, we could keep splitting up into these little factions and saying, I am this, well, I am that. Until we recognize that we are one and there is an underlying unity, we're never going to get anywhere.
I know. That's something that it's not that it's overlooked. It's not that we overlook it, but I think we could do a better job at pulling people into our lives and explaining the oneness and what that would look like. You know, I know that some people are just completely shut down, but we cannot give up.
No, you know, and again, you know, wood cells in the heart, you know, call out cells in the liver. You know, are the kidneys going to be jealous of the heart? Hey, you got the fun function. I got to just, you know, basically work on
just filters and yuck.
Yeah. You know, are they jealous? No, they work in unity. They understand there's a bigger unity that keeps the body healthy and whole. And we're going to share with you guys a message that comes from our primary group of guides. We have many different guides. The ones that contact us, there's on a regular basis, we're going to be sharing a message in this first video. There's going to be 2 videos. We wanted to keep them shorter so more people can watch with their limited time availability. And, you know, it's going to come out in 2 pieces. One piece is coming from a group that we call the Mothers and the other from the Galactic Federation. But, you know, really these kind of go together. As we see, Poland says 50 migrants broke through border by force as Warsaw urges NATO for help. Understand really where the tragedies in this world come from. What really creates all these tragedies, all this division? You know, even these groups that we see that are supposed to be doing so good for humanity. As you see, St. Jude hoards billions, over 5 billion, by the way. While many of its families drain their savings and, you know, have nowhere else to stay when they're there visiting their little ones, you know, undergoing, say, chemo, for instance, you know, they're sleeping out in their cars. Meanwhile, there's over, you know, $5 billion that could be used that's just basically accruing interest. And, you know, this is the sad truth of the system. All you got to do is look at, where do we spend our money? Military and non-military. 55% military, 45% non-military. Look at the dollar amount, $741 billion. Now, this was under number 45, and this is under number 46. You might look at it and say that the non-military is higher. Yeah, but the military spending is higher than the previous year. That never stops. War is a profitable business. And again, when the system allows what they call lobbying, which, we view as BRIBERY, what else is it really? It just makes for a mess. When, again, it's not about helping humanity, it's about hoarding resources. These dark energies, entities, beings that control us at this time, and they do control this system still. There are those out there saying, hey, we won this battle. We're down in the trenches, and we've, basically got rid of a bunch of reptilians, underneath the White House. It's not at that level yet. There's a long, long way to go. Again, there's all these different fail-safe loops that they put in there. They recognize people are going to wake up. Hey, a certain portion of the people are going to recognize there's an extraterrestrial, interdimensional component to this. So we're not going to be able to keep that past their knowing. So what do? Well, we'll acknowledge that part of it, but we'll loop them into something else that's going to get them running around in a maze that's just a maze that leads to nowhere. Meanwhile, precious time is escaping because they believe that somebody else is doing it for them. Somebody else is going to come over that hill on a white horse. And, that means that maybe they won't be as actively engaged, or maybe they'll actively engage in something that's going to trap them. Mm-hmm. Think back to January. Think back to the number that comes after 5, right? And think about all those people that have been snatched.
And we have to be very cryptic here, too. So I really hope you guys are understanding what Mike is saying about getting yourself trapped because of a certain entity and you think you're doing good.
Yeah, the letter that comes before R, right? The letter that comes before R. Again, these are tools that they use to trap people that are somewhat awake. And, again, of course, we want change right now, and we can have change right now, but who's going to change it? We are. That's the bottom line. You're not going to have a new Camelot, for instance. Mm-hmm. If you're waiting for King Arthur to return and save the day, you're missing the point. Yeah. Totally missing the point. We have to do this. This is us in the flesh right here. The heavenly realms, the higher densities, they will support us. Most definitely. They are supporting us. They're giving us loving energy and their encouragement all the time. And we do want to share a message from them. And this includes the Virgin Mary. This is part of our core group that communicates with us every day, as well as Mary Magdalene and Kuan Yin and the White Buffalo Calf Woman, Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, and Aset Isis. So, these are our guides that come through every day to us. Pretty much every single day we get a channeling from them. And many times it's of a personal nature where we go ahead and translate it and give it to you in the videos. Sometimes it comes through such that we feel like we can share it. And it's okay to share it with you actually listening to the channeling. So we do want to give you guys this message because it pertains to all of us, really. And the battle that we have going on in this world right now. So I'm going to play that for you guys here.
Yes, dear.
We wish to greet you with much love and light and gratitude for all that you do to bring forth the balancing of the divine feminine mother energies, your expressions and your thoughtfulness and kindness to others is making an impact on this timeline. All of those who you touch, everyone who can hear, everyone who can see and understand, has been taking part in balancing the mother energies. We can see this. We can see the kindness and gentleness extending beyond normal capacity, which is assisting in changing timelines. It is assisting in human evolution. Your efforts, everyone's efforts, are noticeable and appreciated by the mother energies. We are here to assist you in any way that we can, as long as you have desire and a wish for our energy to come and soothe you. During difficult times, we will always be there. In return, we simply wish that you be kind, considerate, giving, and loving to those who need it. It does not take much to simply compliment someone, to open a door for someone, to help someone who has physical difficulties, help them do small chores. All of these things add up, which can change timelines. So as we move out of this dark era into the light, this can smooth this transition. All of these acts of kindness, bringing in the divine feminine energy, being forgiving to those who are traumatized and hurt, having understanding. We notice this. We are grateful. This is what allows our energies to sustain. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for sharing your love. Thank you for always being there. When we change timelines, is this what people might call in this world at this time a Mandela effect?
We are certain this is what we understand this energy to be. It is a blending of energies. It can seem quite confusing to those that are in the 3D. But as we are in other dimensions, we can see how things are able to change, how energies ebb and flow with one another. These timelines are magnetic. When people change their magnetism or their energy body, this will sway the timeline toward you or away from you, depending on what you wish to contribute into your timeline. It can be favorable or unfavorable, depending on your heart chakra, where you are at in your evolution. Please understand that your mood, your health, all of these things affect timelines and can assist in changing them.
Thank you for your explanation. Is there anything else we can share with everyone out there as to how we can most efficiently and effectively quicken the ascension process and get through the tougher time?
Allowing forgiveness to step into your life, allowing forgiveness to be truly understood, allowing life to do what it needs to do, stepping back and not being too quick to judge others, being kind, enjoying the mother's energy, enjoying the mother's artwork, staring at a simple flower for a few minutes, admiring her artwork and her glory. This extends and expands your heart chakra. These things seem so small, but if you could see from where we are, you could see the expansion of the heart and how this affects the energies. We do ask that people try these little things and see that their day might be a little better. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
So we hope that you guys found that comforting and perhaps inspiring. So while all these different people in this world have a different priority list of things that are important to them and truly are important to them, of course, personal freedom is always up at the top of the list, as well as, respecting the other. And we need to always put ourselves into the other's shoes and in order to understand where they are coming from. All these things, when we get to that fifth density reality, it's a given. It's just the way things are, because they've already transcended all these lower frequencies. They've already lifted themselves up to a point where they wouldn't operate any other way. And thus, we end up having basically a heavenly realm that is created. And they want to share that with us. And, that divine feminine energy, the mother's energy, is what's missing from this world. It's out of balance. It's purposely out of balance. That's the only way they could take over and control it using a system like they have in place, is by getting rid of that nurturing, caring, loving energy that leads to oneness.
And you just have to think about mom's energy. You know, just think about mom, how mom always makes things better. Mom, or let me say the nurturer of your home, because sometimes it's the dad is the nurturer, and that's okay too. But we want to embrace that energy. And there are so many more of us than there are of them. And if we could just get with one another and be kinder and gentler and more understanding toward one another, then this is the energy that would be the overreaching, overarching energy that would take over.
We see that, there is basically part of the paradigm that we're in is a patriarchal society that has been changing slowly. When we look back and we go and get relics from history, the oldest figurines we have are feminine with these big round fertile bellies and big hips. And again, that's the divine mother energy. And when we go back and look at some of these societies, like what we see basically in the Indus Valley area, with some of these people living in places that didn't have any storehouses for weapons, they didn't even have walls to keep other people out. They had no apparent governing body as well. There was no split between the aristocracy and the common people. This is what a matriarchal society will bring in, and right now we've gone so far towards the aggressive, warlike energy, and that's how they keep us again in this lower vibrational loop. It's by accentuating that side of things to the expense of the divine feminine. And this doesn't necessarily mean that women need to rule the world, because there's the divine feminine component in males as well. Every time you look at your children and you feel that love, and that you just want to nurture them and help guide them, you just want the best for them. That's that mother energy coming out even in males too. As we look at the yin and the yang sign, you have a little yin and yang and a little yang and yin. And most souls have incarnated as both masculine and feminine entities throughout time. Very few souls are actually here in their first incarnation, although there are many younger souls on the planet that haven't had experiences in other planets, other realms. And that's why they are so easily swayed, because all they've known is this corrupt system. But there are those of us that have taken many incarnations in many different realms, and often just choosing to come back in times of need, because we want to be in service to others, and we want to pull people up out of these dark ages. So that's basically the job that we take upon ourselves. It's all a matter of choice. It's really what you want to do. There is amazing freedoms in this multiverse. The freedoms are there for all. It's just the fact that you're living in this matrix, which is under the control of these dark energies. This is not, this is temporary, for one thing, because it always does pass. And most of the time, even though you keep getting into these recurring cycles of the Kali Yuga, the dark age that does come about, it is the lesser amount of time. So most of the time is not all this nonstop warfare, chaos, and destruction. But this is also the ending of that. But it still may take quite a bit of time to fully get out of this. Although we do have hope that within about a decade, the upper hand can lie with the forces of light. So, this is a key time, and the next few years are going to be the most challenging of them. So we have to gird our loins, so to speak,
Yes.
brace ourselves, and at the same time draw strength from that which is going to bring balance to the world. And that, again, is that divine feminine energy, which has been so repressed. So instead of fighting fire with fire, we need to step back, not be pulled into the flames, and get a sense of what's going to lead us out of all this darkness and disunity.
And look at things like this. Others are watching you. They're watching how you deal with things. They're watching your life. So we want to lead by example. We want people to come to us and ask questions because of attraction, not over promotion. That's really, really important. You don't want to do things that are going to have people turn away from you. But what is magnetic is when you are a nurturer and you are a good person and you have a good heart, and people can sense that, people can see that, and that's what draws people in. That's what makes them curious. It's like, what makes you tick? Why are you such a gentle being? This is what I want to have in my life. So, if someone has something that other people want, they're going to do what they do. So you want to definitely lead by example.
And we see this as the Jerusalem Post. Overlooked DNA might be what separates humans from other primates, so says the study. Researchers grew brain cells from humans and chimpanzees using stem cells and compared 2 different cell types, finding that the 2 primates use the non-coded part of their DNA in different ways. And, again, when you look down in here, one of the things is obvious, and that's that, humanity is we're all mutts, so to speak. We have so much different stellar background in us. So many are from the Pleiades as well as other areas. And if we're talking about the Pleiades, and ultimately we're talking about Lyra, and, but there's so many different species out there. And the next video that we're going to put up, we're talking to Laurel of the Galactic Federation, and some mind-blowing stuff that she does share with us. And I'm going to share with you guys as well. Again, here, 98% junk DNA. How stupid do we think the source of all creation is that it would make something with 98% junk DNA?
Mm-hmm.
That just reeks cover-up. I mean, does it not? And we've talked about the second chromosome being fused. This quote-unquote junk DNA is coming online. It's not junk. They want to call what's gold junk. And this is gold. This is not junk. It's the DNA that allows us to become fully functional, multidimensional beings that are very awake. And the problem is when we're very awake and we are all we can be, we see right through them. And this whole charade that they have given us, all this political divisiveness, all these religious systems that are pitted against each other. Mine's the right one. No, only mine. No, only mine. We see it all as complete BS. And there's no way it could be pulled, off as a truth. You just know. When you know it's not a truth, you can't believe a lie.
Right.
You truly cannot believe a lie. It's just impossible.
Yes, and that's that nagging inner voice saying, there's just something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't sound right with this picture. Listen to that voice, because that's your voice of awakening.
Yes. So thank you guys as always. Thanks for your support over on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys there. And do check out Medicinal Foods. Great people. A great forum, too, for learning more about keeping yourself healthy and strong, and great products, too. Use the coupon code EEA to get a discount and help support the channel. As always, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.